Joining me now at Freedom Fest is John Allison. He's the president of the Cato Institute. John, good to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Now, John, before we dive into this interview, tell us a little bit about what the Institute does. I know you're based in D.C.
Cato is the world's leading libertarian think tank. Our vision is to create a free and prosperous society based on the principles of individual liberty, free markets, limited government, and peace. We basically think the government ought to stay out of your pocketbook, but also stay out of your bedroom.
Okay. So that's a good summary. Now, John, and I think your presentation tomorrow will be on think tanks. So tell us a little bit about your message to delegates.
Well, the question is, can think tanks make a difference? And
Right.
the answer is yes. Can we win the fight? That's a more complicated answer. And I'll give you a concrete example. Cato, 30 years ago, started the fight over what's called enumerated powers in the Constitution. The Constitution actually says Congress can only do 18 things. We've said maybe somebody should pay attention to that. We've been arguing that in law schools for 30 years, and in the last session of the Supreme Court, our cases won 10 out of 11 times. So the court is at least moving to defend individual liberty, which is encouraging.
I know that the Cato Institute has also written papers on a return to a gold standard. Do you agree with this? What do you make of a return to a gold standard?
I am a strong advocate of a free banking system. I'd like to get rid of the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, banking regulations. We had a relatively free banking system in the United States in the late 1800s, and we had great economic progress. A free banking system would almost certainly pick a gold standard.
Now, what is the likelihood of this return to a gold standard?
Well, that's a very interesting question. It's certainly not zero probability, because we've never had an experiment in human history like we're having now, where we have a Federal Reserve that is creating the world's reserve currency and it's backed by nothing.
Right.
And that is a very risky experiment that it might be 20 years from now, at some point will come undone. And then the market may revert to a more rational standard.
So you think that there's a high chance the U.S. dollar will no longer be the reserve currency? Is that it?
At some point, unless the Fed becomes much more disciplined than it has in a long time.
Now let's talk about the Fed. It seems that they are sticking to October as the end of their bond buying program, so there seems to be some discipline there, right?
That's an improvement, but they still have almost $4 trillion in debt they've added to their own balance sheet, and how they're going to undo that are very interesting questions. They have created bubbles globally in places like Brazil and India, because we have the world's reserve currency. So I'm encouraged that they're finally stopping the QEs. Is that a cure for all they've done? No.
All right. Now, you're obviously in favor of a return to a gold standard. Do you like gold?
I like gold. I'm not a gold investor in any sophisticated sense, so I can't give you an opinion about the price of gold. I just think the fact that it has had a long history of being accepted as a monetary standard, because it's hard to cheat, and that's the problem with government fiat money, gives it an intrinsic value relative to its price to other things. I'm just not an expert.
Finally, John, we're at the Freedom Fest conference here. Any strong takeaways that you're learning about or would like to share?
Well, I'm encouraged that there are more libertarians. I'm encouraged that there are more interesting, thoughtful people that get that big government's destructive. It's destructive in terms of the Federal Reserve. It's destructive in the invasion of individual rights, from NSA to what they've done with the IRS. I believe more people, not enough, but more people are waking up that big government is very dangerous.
John Allison, thank you so much for your thoughts today.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching our coverage here from Freedom Fest. We'll have more for you. You can email us at newsfeedback@kitco.com. Thanks for watching.